Hello students. Today we will discuss our next part, that is on culture. Okay, and here we will discuss culture and media, or media and culture. Okay, what role media plays as far as our culture is concerned, and so on and so forth. So our main discussion in this lecture would be entirely based on culture and media, or media and culture, right? This is our next part of the series. Now see, if we talk about say mass media, so mass media is a means of communication. Okay, it is just a communication, whether it is written or broadcast or spoken, right? This mass media always reach a large audience. Okay, this includes television, radio, advertising, movies, internet, magazines, okay, newspapers, and so on and so forth. So mass media has a significant force in modern culture. Many thinkers believe that media sometimes or many a times reflects and creates the culture. Okay, so that is the influence, that is the powerful influence of media, that it reflects and creates a culture in any society. Why? Because we believe in media. Okay, we trust media. Now communities and individuals are bombarded regularly with messages from multitude of sources, from beginning from say television or messages, okay, or debate program, or internet, or through newspaper, or through magazines if we study, and so on and so forth. So we are always bombarded with the messages, with the news, with the views, with the debates, constantly. Even if we are not watching any debate, or we are not bothered about any news, we know about it. Such is the influence of media. Okay, so many sociologists, many thinkers believe that this mass media has a deep impact on reflecting and creating the culture. See, creating the culture, this is a very powerful connotation. Now generally, if we talk about the impact of media or the influence of media, let me give you a small example. We know some names of Bollywood heroes or heroines, or actor or actresses, okay, including Hollywood actor and actresses, or the actor or actresses of our choice of any country or any nation, or singers, okay, or any other celebrity, whether it is in acting industry, or in education industry, or in motivational speakers, okay, or the religious preachers, right, and so on and so forth. So from where we got the source or information about them? Generally the simple answer is that we saw various movies, or we see various movies, or we always look for new release. But that is one aspect. We see, watching a movie is entirely, we are watching a drama. Okay, that has nothing to do with the real life of that particular actor or actresses, or singer or singers of any country, whether it is in India, or say Europe, or America, or any other part. Okay, now this is the influence of media, that we know about various actors and actresses, their life and their lifestyle, their likings and dislikings, and so on and so forth. So every celebrity need this media's attention. If media is not giving the celebrity attention, that celebrity will be a matter of past. And we have seen so many actors and so many actresses and so many singers uh, in India or anywhere in the world who have now become a matter of past because of media do not pay attention to them. Now this is the influence of media, and everyone need it to be in news, to be in to be popular, and so on and so forth. So simply watching movies or listening song does not make anyone popular, but they need media's coverage as well. So that is the influence of media in our day-to-day life. Now, mass media also makes possible that concept of say debate or business uh, or any issue arising out of political matter or social matter or economic matter. So this media houses or this media has that much capacity to influence our ideas, okay, whatever we have. Sometimes that media can even change our perspective on any issue, and sometimes media change our thinking entirely. So that is why many sociologists say that it reflects and creates the culture, because it has the capacity or capability to change our thinking, and changing our thinking is something which is known that we are moving to a new idea, or a new way of thinking, or a new way of say society. So that is such is the influence of media. We must not forget this. Now if we talk about what role media play, or say does we have the same source of information as we have now throughout the history, the answer would be no. Because say in 70s, 80s and beginning of 90s, we almost everywhere in the world we had only just one or two channels, okay, very few newspapers in Hindi and in English, and few magazines, and that newspapers and magazines were highly popular. People used to read those newspapers and magazines regularly, and people also used to watch newspaper whether it was just one channel or two. So that was the limitation of media at that time, and that media also was capable enough to create a kind of new culture or new way of thinking, or so that media houses, no, although very few in numbers, had a wide impact, okay. At that time during 70s, 80s or say early 90s, the television was in a very few household, okay. It was not very much popular because of price and all these things, right? So the source of information was limited to very few, among very few people who had access to television, and that middle classes are divided between those who had black and white television and those who had colored television, okay. So that time was also has also can also be defined as limited audience, but a widespread impact of that media, because people used to discuss it in their day-to-day interaction and so on and so forth. So media at that time also had a very significant impact on creating and reflecting mass culture. Okay, and now we have seen that media houses are increased, television has reached beyond middle class household to poor and say in village areas, right? And almost we can say that in every household we can see small or big television. Okay, and they have source of information as well. Now this widespread availability of media and exposure makes television the primary focus of most mass media discussions. Okay, more recently the internet has increased its role as more business and household sign on. Okay, although TV and the internet have dominated the mass media, movies and magazines and newspapers also play a vital and prominent role in reflecting and creating the culture, as do other form of media. Okay, now if we raise certain questions, what role does media play as far as culture is concerned? Number two, how it is a permanent part of modern culture. To answer these two questions, we have three theories. Number one is limited effect theory. Number two, class dominant theory, and number three is culturalist theory. Now, limited effect theory argues that because people generally choose what to watch or read, and based on what they already believe, media exerts a negligible influence. Okay, this theory generally it is originated in West in 1940s and 50s, and it found that generally it is people who choose what to watch and what not to watch, and also it does not have any deep impact on say voting behavior of any individual, or say a political matter of any individual, because individual at that time was capable enough to decide his or her likings and dislikings, choices, and so on and so forth. Now, since this theory says that media has a negligible influence over people, many critics came out and said that there are two basic problems with this theory. Number one, they claim that limited effect theory ignores the media's role in framing and limiting the discussion and debates of issue. Okay, how media frames the debate and what questions members of the media ask change the outcome of the discussion and the possible conclusion people may draw. Second is, this theory came into existence when the availability and dominance of media was far less widespread. Okay, so this theory came into existence when media was not widespread. Okay, very few people had source of information through television or through newspaper, or they had access to say magazines and so on and so forth. So this theory came into existence at that time when media was not powerful. Okay, but even if it was not powerful, we must not forget that media had a deep impact on various cultural aspects of our life during those days as well. Okay, in India we can say that it is the period of 60s, 70s and 80s. In US or European or in some other societies, it is a period of 40s, 50s, 60s and 70s. Okay, after 90s we saw the various channels and opening of various media houses, which is still going on, and so on and so forth. So that limited effect theory does not fit into our frame, because it talks about the limited role of media, and that is not entirely true. Media's role is not limited. Okay. Number 2 is class dominant theory. See, this class dominant theory argues that the media reflects and projects the view of a minority elite. Now, who are minority elites? Generally, big businessmen, they are minority in any society, in any state, or politicians, they are again minority in any state or in any society, or say some influential people, okay, they are again minority. So they bureaucratic elites or some feudal elites and so on and so forth. So middle class, okay, upper middle class. So these are very few in numbers. So generally media, it is class dominant theory. It projects always the view of a minority elite. This minority elite control the media. There is second aspect. Now, those people who own and control the corporations that produce media comprise this elite. Okay. Advocates of this view concern themselves particularly with massive corporates. Okay. You can say there are many corporate houses which merge media organizations, which limit competition and put big business at the reins of media, especially news media. Okay. What is their concern? Their concern is that when ownership is restricted, a few people then have the ability to manipulate what people can see or hear. For example, owner can simply avoid a logical point or a point which needs to be discussed, or which opens their corruption, or which opens political corruption. Okay. It can create fabricated news to influence the masses, okay, for their own benefit, and so on and so forth. Why they are doing it, and why many big business houses or many big industrialists are actually having their own channels or their own say newspaper or websites and so on and so forth nowadays, because they know the influence of media, the impact of media among people, and how media can change, shape and reshape the ideas of people, automatically changing the cultural life of any society. So that is why this minority elites always try to influence the media. Now, generally we see the television network, it always receive millions of dollars in from advertising industries. And many newspaper we have seen had ads as well, advertisement, okay, of generally real estate, or say some products, or some more broader areas. Okay. So generally they sometimes hide very precious or important information while publishing the ad, because here money is involved. And sometimes they many a times rather, they do not try to write or expose those persons or those corporates who provide them the advertisements. In print media, for example, they hesitate to disclose about any fraud or any corruption done by any real estate. Okay. Recently we have seen the Ansal Wala incident, and how media was trying to hide that corruption done by Ansal API builder in Lucknow or in Greater Noida and so on and so forth, because they were the big uh, uh, say advertisers, or they gave advertisements to various print media. Okay, now see the, and we have seen also in news media, the big houses are never covered. Hmm. So such is the case. Media always decide what we want to see, huh? And media show us only those news or views which are important for them, and we treat it as these news or views are important for us. Okay, so that is the case. Things should have been like what we want, and media should make some program or give us some views or news on it, but things are other way around. Okay, that is the main problem with this particular theory. Now, critics of this theory generally argue that those less powerful and not in control of media have often received full media coverage and subsequent support. So, the theory which blames media houses that it is in few hands, it, 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 the critique says this is entirely wrong, because there are many people who are from poor background or who simply do not have any mass appeal or mass leadership and so on and so forth, but still they got media coverage. Many news which went unnoticed, it was because of this media that we know about them. So media is merely not class oriented stuff. Okay, media has to cover the entire discourse, otherwise people will start no, uh, doubting that media house, and people will lose their interest. So media house has to cover lots of things. Okay, not one thing or two, or they should not rely on one thing or another. So the critique says that the allegation which this media houses are actually this theory is making is, if not entirely, then somehow it is wrong. Okay, because we have good journals as well, we have good media houses as well, we have good magazines as well. Okay, and we have so many source of information nowadays through various TV channels, news channels, or through internet, through various say news agencies, where we know even about a small village of any state. Okay, or people of that particular area. So that theory always uh, create a kind of one-sided story according to critique. Okay, we have seen generally environmental issues are covered by media. It has nothing to do with corporates and few elites. Okay, we have seen the river cleaning issues raised by these media houses so many times. Again, it is not in any sense of benefit for elites, or for few rich people and so on and so forth. We have seen various news on various wars, say it is whether it is Afghan war or Syria war, or earlier Gulf War 1 or Gulf War 2. Okay, or Iran incident recently, and nowadays on Corona. Okay, so if we see this entire discourse, we have seen that media's reach is beyond its class character. So that theory is always, critique says that it present a one-sided picture of media. Okay, even if elite controls it, it doesn't mean that media will avoid the prominent questions or the dominant discourses of any society. So media has to play its role to be a media. So that is the main point, critique argue. Now, last one is the culturalist theory. This theory developed in 1980s and 1990s. Now, this theory combines the rest of the two theories, theory number 1 and theory number 2. That is, number 1 is sorry, I forgot. Let me. The theory number 1 was on limited effect theory, and second theory was class dominant theory. Okay, my apologies for this. Now, see, the third theory is the culturalist theory, and it combines these both theories, and it developed in 1980s and 1990s. Okay, it claimed that people interact with media to create their own meaning out of the images and messages they receive. Okay. Now, this theory sees audiences as playing an active rather than passive role in relation to mass media. One strand of focus of audience while interacting with media, okay, is always according to their own choices, likes and dislikes. Now, here, what this culturalist theory says. Culturalist theories is saying that this entire discourse of media is not in the hands of few channels, okay, or not in the hands of few websites or few newspapers or few magazines or many channels or many magazines or many internet sites or many media houses or many newspapers or many magazines. Okay, it had a very clear understanding, okay, as far as this audience is concerned, that audience always receive a message from various sources, whether it is print or electronic or internet media houses, and they create their own meaning. They many a times do not rely on what media houses are actually trying to convey. So it consider individual as a rational agent, okay, without minimizing the role of media. Now, this theory emphasizes that audience choose what to watch among a wide range of options. They also choose how much to watch, okay, and may choose the mute button if they simply do not like any of the channel or any of the program, okay, or they simply use remote and switch off the television. They will do some other things like playing games and so on and so forth. So here simply media cannot or simply media do not have that much influence as the rest of the two are saying, and rest of the two are one-sided, and they are avoiding the role of audience. Audience is moody and media has to catch the likes and dislikes of that audience to be popular among them. Okay. Now, generally, culturalist theorists claim that while a few elite in large corporations may exert significant control over what information media produces and distributes, personal perspective plays a more powerful role in how the audience members interpret those messages. Okay, so that was the culturalist perspective of media. Now see, if we conclude these theories and if we try to know develop a sense or a sense of idea, we must acknowledge that media has a deep role and a very important role in creating culture or influencing the mass culture. Okay, it can even reflect and change the popular culture. I'm not saying religious culture or caste culture or linguistic culture and so on and so forth, but the political culture or social culture. See, uh, we have seen this lockdown for the past 1 month, and it is media which is keeps on updating us about the patient and various other issues related to this COVID-19. It doesn't affect my culture in any sense, but if it talks about say some particular community or some particular caste or some particular say class, labor, then it automatically will affect my thinking and my culture as well. So media certainly has a deep impact on creating and reflecting on the culture. Okay, so we will meet in our next lecture. Thank you very much.